What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Round 11 podcast, episode 4. Episode 4, we're back again. It's been, a week and a half, 2 weeks since we've uploaded. A lot of stuff has happened in the CDL the last couple of weeks. Roster changes, obviously, the Atlanta tournament we just had. A lot of stuff going on, so we got a lot to talk about here. Hopefully, keep it within like an hour and a half, kind of around that range. That's what we've been doing the last few times we've done this. So, without further ado, we got Jesse Cruising Spaz on my left. I don't know if it's on his left, but he's there. That's him. That's the dude. That's the man recording. And of course, we got owner of Team Solidity. Who's Team Solidity? I don't know, but he's the owner right here, James. Chance. How's everybody doing, man?
Doing good.
That is the first time you've ever done an intro without calling them Team Scrim. So
yeah,
that's
maybe it's rubbing off.
Yeah, I mean, I actually learned what team you actually own, even though I'm a it. I had no idea. But anyways,
I think we should just hop right into it. Rostermania.
Yeah, honestly, Rostermania. A lot of stuff been going on. I think first up, I'd like to talk about Seattle. That was the first change made after. I want to say, yeah, it was right after the Atlanta event, even though Seattle wasn't there.
Yeah. I don't fully remember if we touched on it at all on the last podcast, but like since we're going to go over a lot of the Rostermania.
I think we touched it was a rumor.
Yeah.
I think
at the time.
Yeah.
Maybe. But yeah.
So my question, I want to ask Jesse first. Good move, bad move? What are your just
the move in general, it's for everybody who's wondering, is pander for enable. And I don't know fully because like I feel this is going to help their S&D game tremendously because Enable has always been like statistically known as a bad S&D player or not a great. Well, I wouldn't say bad, but just not a great S&D player. And Pander is an S&D like star, so it's like I feel like it's going to help their S&D game a lot. And I also feel like Pander could probably slay a little better than Enable. I feel like Enable is more of a role player, which they also have Karma to do, so it's kind of hard to have two Karmas on the same team doing that type of thing. So I see it. It's a good move in my opinion. I just don't know where Enable is going to fall, if he's going to fall onto another team or what. But like in my opinion, it's a good move.
I think Pander has to really step up and kind of make a noticeable difference because Enable's a vet. Like I feel like if nothing changes, they're obviously going to try another swap. But I think if nothing changes and they kind of just stay the same, I imagine Pander's going to come out and Enable's going to go back in, just because of seniority situation. But I think that it's definitely a good move for the short term.
Honestly, I'm a little 50-50 on this. I love Enable. I love his game. He's been a really good player since, Advanced Warfare, even Ghost for that matter. That's when he really started to kind of come up. But he's been a leader on every team that he's been on pretty much since Advanced Warfare. Obviously, I mean, he's been playing since COD 4, but he's never really been on the level that he's at even now, I think, until this game.
I actually sorry, I was just gonna say I just also realized this too. Pander is like really really good friends with what's his I can't even remember his name now. The main AR, what's his name? Octane. Sorry, that was like complete brain fart. He's really good friends with Octane, so it's like, do you think that this is a move that, like, do you think Octane's calling the shots on this team for like roster moves or?
Honestly, it's hard to say. I'm gonna say no. I think everybody has to say like if you're a manager for any of these teams, you're asking the players first what they think.
Right.
And who knows? Like when I don't know the manager of Seattle, but if you're going to Enable, I'm really curious as to what Enable say for either himself or for anybody else on the team.
Well, I think he tweeted out, he said that he wasn't feeling like he understands why he's getting benched because he's not performing well, and he said he hasn't been grinding the game, but he said that this is just going to push for him to grind the game harder. That will only be time to tell, like, because like if you really look at it, like think about all these guys that aren't in the pro league that are like trying to get into the pro league right now. Those are the guys who are grinding way harder than the guys who are like in the pro league and not performing right now because they just don't enjoy Modern Warfare. All the guys that aren't in the league are like really just trying to get into the league.
Right.
Yeah. So just to finish my thought on it, like S&D is by far Seattle's worst game mode. So I think this ad will help with that, and maybe that's going to help him with injury. So only time will tell. They're not in LA, right? No, yeah, they are.
They are. They weren't
Yeah,
in the
They
last
are in
tournament.
LA,
They
and
weren't in
they
Atlanta.
they have a group where they can really. I mean, we'll get into talking about Seattle later on, but
But the,
they have a group where Pander can really showcase his stuff, and
for sure.
Yeah.
he'll play teams that Seattle can compete with right now. So I'm on board. It'll improve their S&D, but we'll see how Respawn goes.
And they've been practicing with him for about a month now too. So like
Yeah.
they can't say they haven't gotten the reps in because
Yeah.
they didn't compete at the last tournament, and it was before the last tournament that they were like that they had the change happen. So it's been at
Yeah.
least like around a month, you would think, right?
Yeah.
So
This is the oldest of the roster changes that
all right.
happened within the last few weeks. Next is New York. This actually just happened, I think, yesterday. That'll be Wednesday, March 4th.
Yeah, it was.
No,
Yeah,
actually,
I don't.
I think it happened Tuesday the 3rd, I think it was actually.
Right.
So that New York Subliners taking out Zero out of the lineup in favor of Happy. Happy's been a guy who's grinded his way through the AMC pretty much up until World War II. I know he was on a couple pro teams in
He was
IW as well.
He was on a pro team in BO3 as well. That was
Oh, he was on TK.
BO3 was the last time he was on a pro team.
Oh yeah, that was with that was Parasite's team.
Right.
I
But
forget what team.
from what I heard earlier, because I was like listening to like the Maven podcast earlier, or like whatever their hard points is. So what they were saying about him was he's always been known for having like amazing movement and
Yeah.
games. So I don't know. I feel like this game is kind of very movement heavy, so I feel like this could be a decent move. I just don't like the move personally because I just feel like if you're thinking of good players in the league, like Zero's always up there for me. And like I don't think he's really been performing like badly enough to be dropped. It could be a role issue because he was running second AR for the team and there's like really no second AR spots right now. It's basically the meta right now is 1 AR 4 subs. So that could be the issue. But like I don't know. Like and like is Happy like the permanent answer to this issue because like again, he hasn't played on a pro roster since BO3. That's 5 years.
I doubt it's a permanent move. I bet it's just something to try to get something going with the team. I can't see it being long term.
I don't want to correct you, Jesse, but he was on that really good TK team, if I'm not mistaken, in World War II. So he has played on the big stage.
Happy was?
Or no, he wasn't. World War II was
it's Happy,
Theory.
Chino, Kenny, and
No, it was Theory, Chino, Accuracy, Kenny,
Yeah.
and
Yeah, it was only 4. Theory, Chino, Accuracy, and Kenny was the really good TK team.
Okay, sorry.
Yeah.
Happy was on Midnight last year.
No, he wasn't.
I don't know.
I honestly don't remember. So
I think he was.
No, because Midnight was like I don't remember exactly. He was not on that team because it was like a team of AMs, like a completely unknown AMs that was like making their.
No, because Parasite was on the team as well.
After
It was like,
that was after.
Yeah, after. I'm talking about Happy was on the team too. I'm almost certain.
Happy was on. Oh well, let's see where we're talking. He was on last year. He was at Orlando Reapers. Then in 2017 to 2018, he was Amity Esports. 2017, for a brief time, he was on Draco. But 2016 to 2017, he was on K.
Okay, so I knew he played for TK, but yeah, that was. I mean,
Yeah, I was just. I don't think he was on that Midnight team. That was really good.
I swear he was, but anyways, moving on. We'll forget about that.
Yeah.
Happy. He's gonna play a sub role. I have no doubt in my mind. Zero, maybe it's just a role thing, like Jesse said. I think they'll try it out for an event. I really don't think it's gonna work.
Can I say something really quick that I think about New York? I don't understand the Zero benching in a way that I don't understand why they don't have him running main AR. Like I know Accuracy is a good main AR, and that's what he does. But like the issues they were having were kind of pacing issues. That's what everybody was saying, at least during scrims and stuff, was like they have pacing issues because a lot of people think Accuracy plays too slow. Zero could play that faster AR role. We've seen him do it before, and we've seen him win a tournament with an MVP at that role. So it's like I don't understand why he's moved to the sub role in the first place, right? Or why he's like it just doesn't make sense to me. I could definitely see Zero being a very, very good M4 main AR in this game. And like and a fast one at that. Like, so I don't fully understand it. Like, I feel like Zero is not the person to drop. Maybe it's just a team thing. Like, because like let's be honest, New York really is the friendship team. If we're looking at all the players that are on it, and we know that Happy really got his spot on this team as a sub because he's friends with all the players on the team. So,
I mean, I'm just happy it's him than Doug Sensormartin.
Doug's well.
Actually,
if you
speaking of Doug Sensormartin, I think James, do you have anything to say about Happy, by the way, before we get into the?
Oh yeah.
No, you guys basically covered it.
Okay, so a lot of stuff happened surrounding Doug Sensormartin and New York Subliners. Sensor's dad actually went on Instagram after the announcement of Happy being subbed in for Zero. I have the post pulled up. This is what Sensor's dad had to say on Instagram about the team. New York Subliners equals the Friends team, which I think is kind of obvious.
That's true.
That was whatever.
But we all know that.
He says New York Subliners breakdown. He adds the players too, which I think is even funnier.
He's a savage.
He tags them on Instagram. So first up, he goes at accuracy, tyrant, loser, bad leader. At temp, hothead, bad team player. At attach, lackey, Lamar ass kisser. Lamar is accuracy. Lamar ass kisser. At Zuma, champ, nice guy, needs spine. At Zero, poor team choice, champ. At Happy, clearly I think he meant to say I'm. Clearly I'm prepared, and then he says censor without tagging Doug, which that makes the least sense out of anything.
I think he means clearly unprepared for Happy.
Or it's no, sorry, clearly ill prepared.
Oh, gotcha.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that's probably it.
And then so the censor one is hilarious.
4-time champ. Wow, 4 wins in 12 years. Jesus. Get this guy approaching.
Frame 6, look out.
Yeah.
It's coming for
4-time champ, proven leader, motivator, clear leader. New York Subliner solution. It's as plain as the nose on your face.
I mean, I don't really have a lot to say about this. I just think that it's kind of like unprofessional for something.
At least Doug made a video and said like, "Hey, those are my father words, not mine."
Yeah.
He obviously did something. He was like, he didn't like protect his dad. He's like, my dad said it. That's on him. He had no right to do that.
Maven brought up a really good point earlier. He got those opinions from somewhere.
Right.
So it could have just been Doug ranting to him, but
that is actually a good point. I'm just sick of this fucking Doug Sensormartin talk. I've been sick of it for 6 goddamn years. The guy is not a good Call of Duty player. I acknowledge him winning his championships, but keep in mind the teams he had. Ghost, when he was on FaZe, he had Parasite, Karma, and Apathy. Karma and Parasite, obviously, we know how good Karma was. He was probably the best player. Parasite is Parasite. He was good back then. Apathy was a young, cracked out 19-year-old, like just killing everything in sight. And Doug was the leader co-leader on that team with him and Parasite.
Yeah, and then he won another championship in AW with Slasher, and like Slasher's like a cheat code to winning championships.
Yeah, that FaZe Red team, Hugh was on that team as well, I believe.
I don't think you guys are giving Doug enough credit.
I think Doug is a good player.
Hold up. I think this is his year. I'm sorry. I couldn't keep a straight face saying that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just like last year was his year, and next threat, that team was going to be his year.
I don't think Doug is okay.
You gotta hang up the controller at some point.
I'm not like saying Doug Sensormartin deserves a spot in the league. I'm saying Doug is a decent Call of Duty player, but given like the right team, I think that he is going about getting on a pro team in the wrong way. In my opinion,
based off class.
Because he's kind of just sitting there playing tens. Like maybe if he went to an AM event with a team, I don't know if they're allowed to, right? Like because aren't some people? All right. So why doesn't he get an AM team and go and win an AM? Like imagine you win
because he's a pro.
But imagine you win the AM event.
Anyway.
But just imagine. I'm just saying, like imagine he wins the AM event. Maybe he'll get on a team, right? But like, he's not going to get on a team sitting there playing tens.
Yeah, and he posted a video on Twitter. I don't know if it's still up. I imagine it is, basically saying like this is why I'm a pro, and it was like the wall of censor, and it was him getting 3 kills in like 40
Oh, I
seconds
saw, yeah.
on a hardpoint hill, and it's like
You know,
that's not clip worthy. Like
I feel bad for him because, like, in a way, because he's like, even amongst the pro players, he's kind of like a meme. So like,
yeah,
get in that clip,
like not getting picked for tens,
yeah, and like exactly, and
or
like
people going like, oh, we're stuck with Doug.
yeah, and you'll hear in that clip where he posts, 4-piece, and everybody's like, "Yo, let's fucking go, Doug, you're sick." Like it's not clearly like sarcasm when you listen
But
to
it,
it, but you can
but
kind
it
of
pretty
tell.
much is.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you
I'm
can
a,
kind of tell.
I'm gonna just say I feel like we should try to move on from this point because we can literally sit here and talk about Doug Sensor Martin all day long. So
Hey, buddy, I'm running the show, so you calm down a little
We'll talk about Doug Sensor Barn for the entire hour and a half.
bit. Yeah, dude, I'm about it. Okay, moving on from that. We'll talk about Doug Sensor Martin probably next week's podcast.
yeah, will he be on a team? Find out next week.
When
the
Happy
answer
doesn't
is
work
no.
out, Sensor will be up there.
No, when Happy doesn't work out, they'll sign.
They
like,
just signed
someone
another
else.
AM today.
Yeah. Oh yes.
right.
They
Yeah.
signed Mac. Mac has been really good the last year and a half, 2 years.
Mhm.
He had a really good AM year in Black Ops 4. For anybody that doesn't know who Mac Melts is, he had a really good year in the M scene in BO4, and he's like absolutely destroying everybody. Like more so online this year, because there hasn't been very many AM events so far. But this is a really good player, and this may be a guy we'll see jump in for Happy somewhere down the line.
Is New York? New York's? Oh, they are at this event. So you think if Happy doesn't pan out this event, you think they, you think they throw in Mac for next event?
I
feel like he would have to do pretty bad to
But-
be
Yeah.
to
Like,
be
if
swapped out
Happy's
after this event.
horrible-
If he holds his own, I imagine
Well,
they'll keep him.
what I really feel about this Happy one though, like going back to it, is I kind of feel like it's more of just a placeholder. Like they're just having issues maybe with the team. Like there's maybe my internal issues, and that's why Zero got benched. And now they're just putting Happy, and kind of like what happened last year, like when like didn't LG drop Gunless at the end of last year because of like an issue, or like
Yeah,
they benched him, right? But then they brought him back after they made the team change, right?
Yeah, he had some character issues.
Yeah, so
Um,
it could be something to do with that. We don't know the full story, obviously.
That's true, and they're it's not unknown that Zero has always had beef with other EU players. Rated specifically, him and Rated do not get along at all.
Right.
So perhaps maybe he's just not vibing with his team or whatever. So it could be a character issue. Nobody knows. We're not gonna slander him, but
We would never
yeah.
slander a player. It's
Yeah.
not us.
no, fucking Doug. Anyways, moving on. LA Gorillas up next. This is big.
It's almost a whole team change.
They
Yeah.
uprooted this team. So
Aches is out.
Aches, the team captain. I'll get to that in a minute. Aches, the team captain. Lacefield and Saints out in favor of Blast, Vivid, and Spart. Now, just a quick background on these players. Blast, we know him last year for UIU and Midnight.
He's a good player.
I
I feel like he just hasn't been on a good team.
Yeah, you're not going to see much success. You're not going to see the best out of him on those teams. Incredible S&D player.
Insane sniper.
Saints was on Midnight last year too.
Yeah.
That's true. So again, maybe a chemistry thing. Not sure. So yeah, Blast becoming a really good respawn player. I think he's here to stay. I think now that he's in, he's not coming out.
Right. And Vivid and Spart are two AMs that they just signed from they won the last tournament together, didn't they?
Yeah, I believe so. So Vivid is Vivid, as far as I know, he's been playing since BO3. That's where I first learned his name.
Right.
He's again grinding out the AM scene, top 32, top 16, stuff like that through different AM events. So not really seeing much success. I know he's had success this year and a little bit last year as well. Spart, don't really know this guy too much. I think I heard him around the scene last year also. Really, obviously, made an impact early early this year for him to sign with a pro team already. So,
Yeah.
your guys' thoughts on this move and how LA is gonna play?
Go ahead, James.
The only really comment I have is like I'm interested to see how it works taking out Aches because like I have my personal opinion on him, but it's like he's still. I think he gets more heat than he deserves, but yeah, I imagine he's being replaced for chemistry reasons. But I think that it's going to be a good change overall because they really had to get something going. But other than that, I'm not. I'm interested to see how it works out.
And yeah, I just want to correct myself. So he was Vivid was not on that or on the Atlanta like minor team that won the last event. He was on hybrid for the most of this year. He got fourth
Oh.
he got fourth at the opening weekend event. Just so
He has been successful this year, so and especially online too.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Smart was on the Atlanta phase team, so that won the last event, and they look pretty good. So just wanted to correct that. My thoughts on it, I kind of like it, honestly. Like, the team hasn't been performing super well. I don't know if I fully agree with swapping everybody out at once, but also there could be some things going into it. Like, they wanted to pick these players up. Like, they just freshly signed them, right? So maybe those players were only signing to get onto a pro team. Like, they didn't want to sign and be a sub, possibly. And that's why they decided to make the big change right away. But the only thing I don't understand is, like, I guess Aches hasn't been playing great, but it's like, I don't understand why you would sign, like, the 5-man team of, like, who they signed just to drop them 2 events into the year, 3 players.
Yeah, it's early on. You have time to make
and like
player
Aches gets better
adjustments.
as the game goes along. He doesn't normally
Yeah.
pick up the game super fast, in my opinion. Like, and he's a 2-time world champion. I don't understand how, but like,
Right.
I don't know. I there's ups and downs to it. Like, they're also a lot younger now. Maybe these guys have played together before through S&D tournaments and things like that. Maybe. So that could be a thing with it. I'm not fully sure.
Well, actually, for once, I agree with your opinion on Aches. I never thought I would ever say that in my life, but I do. Here we are. Again, I don't understand. You're completely uprooting this team, like you said, after 2 events. No, they haven't looked good since actually launch weekend, where they actually looked pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
They have not looked good since. But I'm okay with the Lacefield and Saints substitute. Again, maybe it's chemistry. Maybe they're just not playing well. Maybe they're not playing well as a team. But no matter what, under any circumstances, bench your captain. I don't care. I don't care if he's the worst goddamn player on the team. Like, obviously, at this point, if he's 5-35, then yeah, you got to bench him. But he's not. I know his KD isn't the best.
That's not his role,
But no, it's not his role. His role is to call the shots, lead the team. That's what he does best. He doesn't have a Crimsix to compete with when leading a team. He doesn't have a Clacer to compete with. He doesn't have a Karma to compete with. This is his team, and you're taking that away from him. And now I already know Aches is fucking pissed. He is pissed. He's out.
and I definitely can't
Yeah.
ever see him like not competing and moving into like a like he would probably be great as a coach, to be honest, but I cannot ever see that happening.
No,
Like,
and
from
he
He's
his
too
from
competitive to just move into a coaching position.
Exactly.
It's like you
And-
look at Optic. Optic hasn't won a single series, and they haven't made any changes, let alone change their entire roster.
Yeah.
Like,
It-
so if anything, they should, in my opinion, I think they should. It's early enough to be substituting single players rather than just completely starting over, basically.
yeah.
Like Michael Jordan's 43 years old. You're not fucking benching. You're not benching him no matter what. If he's averaging 6 points a goddamn game, it doesn't matter. You're not gonna make him wear a suit on the sideline. You're keeping him in no matter what. And
Yeah.
LA's making a mistake.
I mean, you're not wrong. I mean, like, look at, like, if we're like looking at traditional sports, like, great thing to bring up would be Brady. Brady did not have his best year this year. He didn't get benched once. They still
Yeah.
had a
Yeah,
good
Ty-
record, but
You're
like
not
him,
gonna bench-
him
I know-
individually didn't have a great year, right? So
Shut up.
wait, what?
Tighten up.
Oh my god.
Like, you're not gonna bench Brady for throwing 4 interceptions. It's just not.
I don't know. I just don't fully agree with it, but I can also see why they did it. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
Team is getting a lot younger. Maybe they can improve on it. I think it's so up in the air right now. We don't
We'll
know
have to
how
see-
they're going to perform.
see how
If
it
they
happens.
come out and they smoke like start playing super well together, sure, you know what, great move. But if they don't, then it's just going to look kind of dumb.
Yeah.
And also, sorry, just one more thing. If they quit so fast on their main 5 roster, like how does that give these players any
They're going to be.
confidence to
I'm
like?
calling it right now.
Yeah.
The Gorillas are going to be the first team to make a trade.
And do you think like who's calling the shots there? Because like you would think like it would be Aches and all.
Definitely
of them.
not
So
Aches.
it's definitely got to be like the captains who are like, or like the coach who's cutting people and adding people.
I mean, Ace could have gained some humility.
Maybe.
Yeah. He could
Probably
have said
not.
maybe I bench myself, but he
But-
would never fucking do that.
Probably not.
Yeah. Yeah, just final thought on that. LA's going to get worse from this.
Yeah.
They may have a decent event now, but they're not going to be in the top 8 if they keep operating the way they are. It's just not going to happen. You're completely uprooting a team, like destroying whatever chemistry was there, and I'm not on board with it. But final thing for Rostermania, as of Thursday the 5th, we don't know what's going to happen before LA. Doubt anything's going to happen 2 days before the event, but in case it does, and of course we may miss something like right after the event. But just last thing for Rostermania, as of March 5th, Dallas signs Rambo. Yeah, Rambo. The guy who's been playing since COD 2 and
The
retired.
one and only.
Yeah, who retired in COD Ghost. COD Ghost.
As head coach and GM.
Sign him as head coach and general manager of the Empire. James, give me your thoughts.
I like it. I like Rambo. I've always been a fan of Rambo. I definitely don't think it could hurt them. So I personally think it's a good move. And he's obviously been around enough, I think, esports in general to be in a general management position. But I think it's a good move total.
Jesse?
I get the GM. I don't fully get the head coach. I know he was a good player, like strategic wise. I don't fully understand the head coach only because he's been out of the game for so long now. But I also get it in a way of he's gonna go into that team and kind of be the voice of reason with having like Krim being the way that Krim is, and probably having Clay, because if they're not winning, you gotta imagine Krim and Clay are probably butting heads. I would think at least. So that could be like a good reason. I think it's a good move picking him up in general. I just like the head coach on GM. I feel like that's gonna be a lot of things on his plate. So
Yeah.
Honestly, I like it. I'm on board with it. Rambo is a 2-time runner-up at COD Champs. Like, he's been out of the game a long time, but he's done some analyst work. He's done some desk work for.
he even worked on a Call of Duty game
Yeah, for Pro Call of Duty.
for
and he
Sledgehammer.
was- Yeah, he helped the devs as well. Obviously, like, no one really knew how involved he was with this game. He played a little bit of Black Ops 4, but not like, the way he can. It was more like Blackouts.
Right.
No one really knows how involved he's been with Modern Warfare, but obviously it's been enough where Dallas feels like he can come in and help this team. And I honestly believe he's not going to be a guy who's going to be like, okay, like, Krim go here, Clay go here, like on a map. I don't think he's going to be that guy.
No.
More so general coach.
Yeah, exactly. I think it's going to be him, Clay, and Krim sitting in a room and talking things out. Like, okay, we can do this instead of that, and do that and that. I think he's going to be that guy. He's also going to be the guy in maps where he's going to be like, all right, guys, like, settle down, we're good. Like, regain, blah, blah, blah. Things that a coach does other than actual, like, coaching.
To touch on sorry, go ahead. No, go ahead, James.
I was just saying really quick, kind of to go back to like traditional sports. I don't know, like how much you guys know, but like when Luke Walton became the coach for the Los Angeles Lakers, or like any younger coach just in general, but like then you have someone like LeBron come onto your team, you're not going to sit there and tell LeBron how to run his plays. You're gonna let LeBron do his thing, but if there's something that's going on between him and players and stuff, that's what you're there to mediate. You're not gonna sit there. You're not gonna sit there and tell Krim, to work on his timer, go to watch these lanes. He knows what to do. Same with Clayster. Like he's just going to be there for general purpose.
I just want to give you credit. That was an incredible analogy. So well done. Round of applause
All
for
right.
watching at home.
And
Just
so
clap for him right there.
just to kind of touch on your point. So what I was going to say with Rambo was I can definitely see him, like as you were saying, like you're going to let them do their own thing. I can see that happening for a couple of weeks. I can see that happening, but like I can also see him learn. Like he's going to obviously work with the players. He's not going to tell the players off and what to do, right?
Right.
That's not his role. That's not where like what he's going on the team to do. He's going to help them. What
Especially
like,
when you're new.
yeah, doing that would just do anything but help them. I feel like what he's going to do the first couple weeks, he's going to sit back, he's going to watch, see what's happening with the team, kind of pick out help with vetoes probably. Like,
Yeah.
and also I can also see him being the guy who's going to go back. He's going to sit in that room and he's going to watch VODs, see where things
Yeah.
are spawning, because that's what Rambo has always been like. So I can definitely see him being a good coach, but I can also
Yeah,
see him being
definitely.
a better general manager just personally. But we'll see what happens.
Yeah, just to end that off from the general manager perspective, like everybody knows, well, not everybody, but Tasmo is actually the GM of Dallas Empire. I think he is for Dallas Fuel as well, the Overwatch team. I could be mistaken, but yeah, I'm not too sure on that. So like, don't quote me on that. But like Tasmo has been with Envy for a long time. He's built some great teams that we've seen over the years. So I think with Rambo coming in as well, I don't know what it means for Tasmo. I don't think Tasmo's brought
He is the general manager of Dallas Fuel.
He is okay. So Tasmo obviously a brilliant mind, and you bring a guy like Rambo in. Those two working together side by side is gonna do nothing but good for the team, I think.
Yeah, I agree.
All right, well, that's pretty much it for Rostermania that we know. Point heading into the Los Angeles home series. This is it. Next up. We have an interesting topic that Jesse actually started shooting this. We're talking about substitutes coming in, new signings for different teams, different subs coming on board. Jesse brought up a topic, like what subs have a chance to come into a team, or what subs do you see joining a team and making an impact, and perhaps even staying on a team for the rest of the year. Jesse, I want to get your thoughts first because you brought this up.
Okay.
Like, who would be one guy you could see? Well, you can bring up a couple others, but who would be one guy you could see joining a team and staying on the team?
Okay, I see JCap getting dropped from Optic. Honestly, if they have another bad event this weekend, I fully 100% think that that's going to happen. Because unless it's like an issue with Dashy and TJ just not being able to completely like agree with like Kenny and Slasher, I don't know. Kenny and Slasher are kind of duo. TJ and Dashy are kind of a duo. They're moving Dashy to the sub role this weekend. I know this isn't really the point that we were talking on. I feel like this team could get a lot better with Dashy on an MP5 because the MP5 plays a lot like the Maddox did last year, which is what Dashy ran last year. And I don't fully understand why Dashy is running the main AR over Slasher anyways. So it could be a role issue. Maybe they're going to come out and look a lot better this weekend. I honestly doubt it. But it could happen. They do have a weak pool, like a lot weaker of a pool than they have had.
It's a good pool to make a change.
Right. Now,
sure.
If they make a roster change, I definitely see Cap being dropped. I'm not even saying that any of their subs are really going to get a spot. I could definitely see them picking up another SMG player, like a good, fast SMG player. Like the rumor right now is they might pick up Pharaoh. And I could definitely see that being a good pickup for their team. Like I know Pharaoh has had issues with rosters, but didn't Pharaoh play with Kenny on TK at one point during that year and like make it
and briefly on 100 Thieves.
And on 100 Thieves. So
he was also on Envy last year as well with Aches.
Right. So like
sorry, wrong LA, my bad. But he was on the Envy team.
All right. So I could see Pharaoh coming in making a difference. Like and another player that I was thinking of that like so I know Zero just got benched. I think Zero as a main AR, not as a sub, I think Zero as a main AR could make improvements to multiple teams. I feel like Florida, possibly Zero, could make an improvement to that team. I don't know how he would fit into a lot of these teams, but like even like this is gonna sound kind of crazy, but like I could kind of see him joining Paris even and taking like a spot. Like I know they're like really good with Chem right now, but like just imagine him joining that team with Zed and Kismet, how they've been playing, right? Bring him on, who is statistically like in the past been a very good main AR. I could see him being a good main AR for this team as well. That's just personal thoughts.
As far as a sub goes, you can't. I love your points, but you kind of got a little bit off topic.
Yeah.
Like, who's one guy on a team? Like, let's forget about another amp being signed, but who's a sub on a team now that you can see joining a team that's staying on the rest of the year?
Go ahead. Go ahead.
I was gonna say the one I'd like to see is switch out JCap with Gunjar. I think Gunjar's a little underrated. He did really, really well on Lightning Pandas when he was there, and I think that could make a big difference if they just kind of try swapping him out for JCap. That's one. I would like to see that one.
And
can I guess yours, Zarin?
Well, I think but I just want to add to James.
Okay.
I actually really like that idea because it's a little bit tough with LA Optic. I think Slasher is he's not a good anchor. I don't think he's a good anchor. I think he's a better as a roaming AR, a guy who's going to drop kills a map. He's that kind of guy. Gunjar, he's going to be the guy sitting way back in the spawn. Like, he could play a decent speed as well, but you put him on LA, same with Chino for that matter, actually. Chino actually, nasty. Chino actually has been playing the SMG, I believe, more than AR this year. But Gunjar, you put him on that team, he's going to be a great anchor, I think.
Yeah. I mean, and they're 0-4, so it couldn't hurt.
Yeah, exactly. It's the only way is up. So.
What were you saying, Jesse?
I was gonna guess Zaren's pick. I'm gonna guess that you're gonna say Kleenex on Toronto. That's my guess.
I've been saying it since the first episode. I said Kleenex by I don't know what month I said. I think
it was like the first episode. Yeah.
Yeah. I was like, I think Kleenex by the middle of the year is gonna be on Toronto. I mean, Toronto's only backing up my point because we've seen that they're willing to rotate anybody through the lineup. Like, we haven't seen a lot of changes by them, but it's been stated even by the GM herself, said that they have 10 players for a reason. Toronto believes that they have 10 starting players. Yeah. And I believe it too. I think any of these players could be on a pro team. And I think Kleenex is 18 or 19 years old. This is a cracked out kid who's gonna just like destroy anything in sight, and I can't believe he's not on the team already. Maybe we'll see for the next event after LA.
I'm kind of happy that they did stay together as their team right now because they did look a lot better last event in Atlanta.
Yeah, they did.
I mean, it's gonna be interesting, but Kleenex is my guy. He's gonna come in and he's gonna stay, and he's probably gonna get, signed next year. I don't know what the contracts are like, but next season, maybe he joins another team as a starting player because Toronto just doesn't have room for him. We'll see.
Now, do you guys see, like, this is just another like general question? Could you guys see Enable getting traded to another team and starting?
And starting?
Because he's not going to take a trade if he's going to go and be on a bench somewhere else.
Right.
I could see him going to New York.
Yeah, I can see that.
I
think he'd be perfect in New York. I'll explain a little bit.
Well, he has chemistry with them. Like,
yeah, he's got Zuma and Attach, and like he's good with accuracy, good with temp. Yeah,
I was
but he's won a world championship.
No, he hasn't.
I lied. No, he was on. Yeah, he was on. What was that denial team? Oh my god.
Was he on that denial team?
It's Clayster, Attach, JCap. No, it wasn't Enable.
No, it was.
I can't.
It was Replays was on that team.
Oh yeah, dude. Oh, I'm so dumb. Okay. But yeah, anyways, he played for FaZe for what 3 years with Attach and Zuma. So it's instant chemistry. It lets accuracy be the main AR for the team,
Right.
which is exactly what he wants, and it'll only help it. And Enable can do both. So I think that's a perfect fit if you're gonna put him on another team.
Now,
Yeah, I think so.
Where I think that he would be actually a really good fit on too, and you guys might disagree with this. I'm gonna bring back up Optic again. I feel like
I
him
thought about that.
over JCap because he played with Kenny and Slasher all last year and performed well with Kenny and Slasher all last year. I could see that being a good fit as well.
Yeah, I could see that. That was what I first thought. And then for a brief moment, I thought about him on Florida, maybe in place of Havoc. But I think it would make more sense to him to go to Optic, be with Dashy or Kenny and Slasher.
I see that too. James,
Yes.
the substitutes. What's one guy that's gonna join the team?
He said,
I said Gunjar.
Oh
Remember
yeah,
I said
yes,
Gunjar
that's right.
Gunjar for JCap.
Jesse still hasn't answered that.
well, I mean, I kind of like generalized over it, and like you said with Toronto, like I really think like Toronto has a lot of people who are going to. I could see Brack making an entrance into the team and doing it and staying on the team. But honestly, like I don't really want them to keep making a lot of roster changes right now. I kind of want them to stick with one and kind of build some chemistry because they did look a lot better. But I definitely could see Brack joining and making a difference on Toronto because he was a really good player last year. So,
yeah, well, I think that's about it for that discussion.
Yeah.
I think we're just about ready to move into our power rankings.
This is everybody's favorite segment.
Yes, this always gets interesting.
Who's gonna throw hate at Zarin this week? Let us know in the comments.
It's not gonna be me.
I'll get to my man in the comments.
I'm a pacifist.
In a few. So, once again, we're using Dexerto.com. Actually, I'm not giving them clout. Just forget I said that. We're go.
Oh yes.
Rewind.
Too late.
We're using Dexerto's power rankings. Me and James aren't really the biggest fans of these guys. Jesse's very impartial.
I don't give a fuck.
Not really the biggest fans, and we disagree already, like on teams. But anyway,
let's throw it in. Who's number 12? Give it to me.
Number 12.
I'm gonna
Dallas Empire.
Same as last week. Optic Gaming.
Imagine Optic Gaming. Yeah.
Optic LA number 12.
Hey, they're consistent. I think it's third week on my number 12.
Yeah, they're consistently bad. So Jesse, give me your thoughts. Where are they?
I got a small spot in my heart for Optic Gaming still because I've been an Optic boy for a while.
There's so much hope.
Optic fanboy.
There's so much hope. They should be on paper. They should be so good.
Like I honestly, I'm not a big fan of any of the players on this team, but it's like they should just be way better than they are. I got them in 12th as well. First time ever I've had Optic Gaming in 12th in my power rankings. It hurts a little bit. They moved down 3 spots. Let's fucking move on from Optic. We don't even need to talk about them.
I have them at number 12. They stayed the same from last week. Actually, they've been number 12 for 3 straight weeks for me.
What's up?
So glad we're on the same page.
Oh man, preseason power rankings.
Awful right now.
I had them at number 5. Tough times.
I had them at 6. LA Optic has a chance to improve this weekend. We'll see how they do. Getting out of this right now, but we'll find out. Time will tell. Number 11, we have the boys of the North, Toronto Ultra.
The fake North.
The wannabe North.
I'd like to go. Oh, okay. I was gonna say I'd like to say my thoughts on them because I've actually
go ahead.
You go ahead.
I've actually moved them up in my power rankings. I don't have them at number 11 anymore, and this is actually I think the first time I've had Toronto crack the top 8 in my power rankings. So now let me say why I moved them up because I moved a lot of other people down.
So by association.
By association, they have moved up. I think that they will be better as well. Like they took 2 maps off Chicago last weekend. Yeah. They looked a lot better. Now, I'm saying they moved up because other teams moved down. We'll see what happens. They definitely look like they're going to be a lot better. They didn't
take 2 maps off top-notch Chicago.
That's true.
They took 2 maps off struggling Chicago.
You're right. But they did look a lot better.
I also have them at number 11. It's
It-
kind of
Yeah.
Is there
Any reason? Like just
it's kind of same thing, kind of like by association. I looking at it now, like they're definitely getting better, but with these changes and after the results from last week, I think there's room for the other teams to make more of a leap, except for Optic because they refuse to change anything.
let me just justify
Fair.
eighth. Just one more point I had. I put them above LA, who has 0 wins in the league, and then the 3 teams that made roster changes. That's why I have them at number 8.
that's absolutely ridiculous having them at number 8, but that's fine.
What do you
Uh,
have, Zane?
I also have them at number 11. They were number 11 last week as well.
I think I think I had them at number 9 last week.
Let me just check really quick. Yeah, I had them at 11, and I had them at 10 the week before that. So Toronto, they played a little bit better, but they're just not. They're just not it right now. I don't have much else to say. Like they're just not a team that is a threat at all. I
Yeah.
don't even think a roster.
That's probably the
change-
best way to put it. They're not a
Yeah,
threat.
You know what?
Yeah, exactly.
You know what? I actually
I-
kind of wonder. I actually kind of wonder: are they going to make another roster change before the next event? Because they have 2 weeks now to prepare before, or like technically, like they've had their last one, and now they have a month before their next event from that last one. I wonder if they make another roster change or if they stick
I
with
wouldn't
it.
doubt it.
Yeah,
What-
I wouldn't be surprised if they did.
I wouldn't doubt it at all. I don't think them making a roster change within the team is actually gonna really help
I
them
don't think
much.
so either. But
But again, we don't know. We don't know who's gods at this game yet. It's been only a few months and only a month and a half of the CDL, so
right.
time will tell for Toronto. But right now, they're not a threat. So number 10 on Dexerto's power rankings, we have the LA Gorillas, the home team, one of the home teams coming up. Jesse, give me your breakdown of LA and where do you have them?
I got them at number 10. Or, sorry, at number 11. They were at number 11 last week for me. They were at number 11 the first week for me. They stand at number 11 right now. Honestly, with the roster changes, we really don't know what's going to happen with them. They didn't look great with the roster they had before after last weekend. I don't... Just go ahead, James.
I have them at number 10 as well, just based off everyone's performance in Atlanta. I just think I just had to drop them down a little bit, considering they weren't there.
I also have them at number 10.
Oh, y'all are copying Dexterto, eh? Y'all just like took a pen and paper.
We're
You
copy
guys were-
pasta.
Yeah. So I have them at number 10. They dropped 6 spots within 2 events on my power rankings. Yes, I had them at number 4. I know, whatever. I don't want to hear it. This team has problems, and they're not getting solved anytime soon, even with these changes. We'll see how it goes a month from now, 2 months from now. But this team has major, major issues, and it's really not looking good for them right now. That's basically all I have to say about that.
Yeah, I had him at number 9 last week, but like considering the fact that I had Florida at 11.
Hmm.
We almost didn't talk about Florida at all last week
Yeah.
or last podcast.
Yeah, and they came out
But I
of
had 'em-
nowhere.
I had him at 11, and then they get second, so they moved up. And Minnesota, I also had at number 10 last week, and they also looked a lot better. So LA just had to drop 2 spots, or drop 1 spot to 10.
Right. I think that I'm just gonna go back just a little bit. I'm gonna just say, do you guys think that the Gorillas with their current roster are gonna beat Toronto? Because you guys,
Beat Toronto?
yeah, because you guys have them higher than Toronto on power rankings. I'm just wondering your thoughts on that. Like, say they played right now. Do you think Gorillas are beating Toronto?
No.
Mm,
I'm gonna
No.
go with these changes, I'll say yeah.
Okay, before the changes, even.
No.
no,
So,
The team clearly has some problems.
all right.
right.
That's just what I want. I'm just trying to justify my power rankings a tiny bit.
Yeah. No. Number 9. This is an interesting one because they didn't play in Atlanta.
Mhm.
Yet I have them right around this range, but number 9, the Seattle Surge, James.
You moved Seattle down?
I did. Yeah.
I also have them at number 9, but I had them at 8 last week, but they also just dropped down because I moved Minnesota up above them, so they just kind of by
Fair enough.
association fell down.
Fair enough. Yeah. Jesse.
Seattle moved up a spot in mine. Up
Whoa!
to number 9.
Whoa! Let's go Seattle.
we got them all at number 9, I think. So.
Yeah. So there's not,
you don't have it in
considering they
mind?
didn't play-
Oh, okay.
Considering what do you have, Matt?
I have Seattle at number 7.
They
Why?
So they moved down 1 or
They
2.
moved down. They moved down 2 spots. I had them at 5 the week before.
I'd celebrated too early.
Yeah, this is yes you did. This is Seattle's still very, very wishy-washy for me. Yeah, you could be a dick all you want, but the fact is
No, they're
they
going to be
really
better with
haven't-
Pander, I think.
Yeah, they haven't had an opportunity to really prove what they can do. I think this team is a lot better than they're playing.
Yeah.
I think same goes for London.
And
for that
Optic.
matter. Yeah, actually, that's true too. But right now, Seattle, I'm a little on the fence. They did drop down 2 spots because of Florida and Minnesota. Not much else to say. I think they have a lot more. I think they're capable of a lot more, and I think they will eventually do that. But
I
do believe
can
they're
agree with
better than
that.
the rest of the league.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I think they're a good middle of the road team. Number 8, New York Subliners. They dropped down a spot from Dexerto.com's power rankings from the last event. Jesse.
New York, I got it at number 10. They moved down 2 spots. Just role changes. I really don't think they're going to be better with Happy in instead of 0. That's just I touched on it earlier. I don't think New York's going to get better from this move.
I also have them at number 8. I was tempted to put them in number 7, but I have London. Well, up front I have London at 7, and I think London held on just enough at the last event for me to kind of keep them there. So for that reason is why I have New York at number 8.
Where do you have them?
New York, I have at number 9. They actually moved up a spot, but that was purely on LA dropping down.
Right.
New York did look a lot better actually.
But then they made a role change or a substitute, so we don't even know what we're going to get.
Yeah, it's hard to say how they'll play. Obviously, they're not playing this weekend, but it's hard to say.
Yeah, they are. They're in Group
Oh
B.
yeah, they are. You're right. Sorry,
But I don't think they're going to have a very good luck of a weekend with their group.
Florida, Atlanta, and Dallas are all better than New York currently, and who knows with this roster change, it could.
They're basically not playing this weekend.
Yeah, it could renew the whole chemistry and play the game, or it could completely destroy it. So we'll see how that goes. Right now, New York's worse than all 4 of those teams, and I don't see them making it. Yeah. Number 7. I don't agree with this one at all. London. Number 7.
What do you...
Dropping down a spot.
Where do you have them at?
I have them at number 5.
James, where do you have them?
I had number 5 last week, but I have them at number 7.
I also actually have them at number 7 as well.
Yeah, they did all right now.
They moved down 2 spots for me. The reason that they moved down is Minnesota looked much better at this event, enough to move them up, and same with Florida. So with them moving up, London only could go down.
Exact same reason of mine. Florida and Minnesota went up, knocking them down 2 spots from 5 to 7.
Yeah, it went from 5 to 7 as me actually as well.
Yeah, London was at 4 in Atlanta. They dropped down to 5 because of Minnesota moving up. If Minnesota didn't play so well, I would have kept London at 4. I think London.
I think that's fair.
Yeah, I think London is a top 4 team. I think they are better than the rest of the league, with the exception of the 3 teams
above them.
Yeah, Dallas, Chicago, Atlanta. I think everybody has them as.
Right.
The problem with London is consistency. We've seen them completely obliterate teams, play really well and have close series and still pull out a win, like a huge clutch win. But then other times we see them get absolutely smoked, and it's just not. It's really hard to tell.
Great
why that's the case.
great example. On Saturday, they beat Florida 3-1, and then on Sunday they lost Or yeah, and then on Sunday they lose 3-2 to them.
I
That could have just been Florida making better map vetoes against them too.
Yeah.
But
or just saying where they went wrong.
Yeah.
The day before, but yeah.
But yeah, that's why I moved. That's why I moved them.
London's a very weird team. Consistency is a problem right now, and I actually, to be honest, that's a problem for
A lot
probably
of teams.
more than half of the league.
I'd say even Chicago looked super inconsistent considering how they looked last week. So
and it's still hard to tell considering that it's like the third official event. It's so early on, and and they're already making so many teams are making changes that other than like Dallas and FaZe and Chicago, who are like the top teams who are obviously going to stay kind of together. If anything, maybe Dallas in the future, if they don't really start progressing more, maybe put in Tommy for someone.
Yeah.
But other than that, they're not going to change. But I think they're the only three teams that we can look at on a consistent basis on how they're playing.
Up there for sure. I agree.
Yeah.
Like even last week, Chicago looked terrible last week, and they still what top 4, almost made finals. So
consistency is definitely a huge problem, which I think is actually a topic we could have for next week's episode. That could be a main focus because it really is a problem for a lot of teams in the league. Right. Number 6, dropping 2 spots on Dexerto's list, Paris.
I also have Paris at number 6, also dropping 2 spots.
I have Minnesota at number 6. I have Paris at number 5.
Ooh, okay.
And
why number 5?
The reason being is because Paris did all right in Atlanta, but they lost 3-2 to Minnesota. They took it all the way, and like that one series just knocked them down 1 spot for me.
I think Paris looked significantly worse at this event than they have looked at the first 3. For me, that's why they've moved down.
Yeah, they moved down on mine too.
They moved down 2 also because I moved up Minnesota and Florida as well. So the moving up 2 is what dropped Paris and London down too. I think they're still a good team. Kismet did not perform well at this last event statistically. I feel like could be what hurt them. But everybody has off events. They could come back and look a lot better. And again, it goes back to the inconsistency thing. But yeah I got them at number 6 as well.
Because like I brought Minnesota up after this past event. Paris, they only dropped 1 spot, and I still have them above Minnesota. Strictly for that, it looks like they had a bad event. Minnesota made a lot of progress, and Paris backtracked a little bit, but I think it was just kind of a fluke. So I definitely think they're a better team than Minnesota right now.
Right. Zared?
I just want to give hang on 1 second. I just want to give a quick shout out to my guy. His name is in Russian, but he commented on the podcast 2 weeks ago, calling me extremely biased, okay, against Paris. I'm just going to say I have Paris at dropping down number 6 from the past event. But this guy said, like, I don't like to call out people, but this one got to me a little bit because it questioned my knowledge of the game and
it feeds Zarin.
Exactly. It feeds me, bro. I live off it. I love it. So
Podcasters
he said,
read mean tweets.
yeah. So he goes in the comment section. He goes, "Quote: You are extremely biased towards Seattle in this situation. What drugs are you taking?" Okay.
Wait, was this before last week's event, right?
Yeah. He says, "Just because Paris has 3 Aussies doesn't mean trash. I will say, not once did I mention they suck because they have Australian players. I never said that." Because I never said that. So he says, "Look at Den's stats from London." I did not, because honestly, I don't care. Can't wait for Paris to clean the floor in a few hours. And guess what, pal?
Paris did not clean the floor.
Done.
I got top 6.
Done. Good night, Paris. Because they shit the bed. Not gonna lie. Okay, they did play 3 matches, 1 more than Toronto, but
$5.
Paris, yeah, Paris was disappointing. As
Paris
predicted, I think they're gonna get worse. They're playing over their heads right now. We saw Kismet have quite frankly,
teams are gonna catch up.
Teams
Yeah.
are exactly. Teams are going to catch up. I wouldn't doubt even by the end of the year if LA Optic is better than Paris.
I can tell you that Optic will be probably better than Paris by the end of the year.
So, for anybody watching, okay, I will continue to speak on Paris. I don't hate Paris. I actually like Paris. I like the team.
And for the record, he does not think Australian Call of Duty players are bad.
Exactly. I've worked with Australian Call of Duty players. I love them. Incredible players. They go under the radar. And we see a guy like Dens come on a pro team last year, Reciprocity, as a substitute, filling in for Tommy and absolutely dominating.
Yeah.
So, like, these guys are good. They have a lot of skill. And this team is good. I do believe that. But the teams behind them right now are going to catch up, and it's going to catch up to them.
And in your defense, we're all being a little biased when we're talking about our predictions. Like we didn't base the power rankings. We didn't go through and look at every single person's KD, then combine KDs and find out where they fall in that order.
Yeah.
It's also kind of where, like how we said, like Paris seemed like they had an off match, so we dropped them down, but we didn't drop them down because they're a bad team. We just think they have an off match. That's why they only went down 1 or 2 spots for us.
Also, they are our personal power rankings. It's not like we're a website that's making them like, and we have to like combine all our thoughts.
Yeah.
Like
we're not trying to project them on.
It's a personal, like this is a personal prediction show, and these are our personal power rankings. So
I'm not gonna sit here and say like I
feel like we should just try to.
Yeah, I know. But I just want to say like
I get your point.
Yeah, there has to be a little bias at some point because it's our personal power rankings. It's not.
Otherwise, we're just going to be reading you other people's lists.
Exactly, and it's not fun. I like arguing with people. Jesse is a fucking moron, but
you can't argue when you're just reading.
Exactly.
So, Number 5.
Number 5, we have the true Northman. Minnesota Rocker. As much as I hate to say it, they really are
they really are the true north.
Actually, Paris is further north, but yeah, it's fine. Minnesota Rocker, number 5.
This podcast is going off the rails today.
Love it. This is entertainment. Minnesota Rocker, Jesse, give me your thoughts.
I have them at number 4. They are who moved up. Now, people are going to be like, but Florida made the finals. Florida made the finals and got 3-0'd by Atlanta. Minnesota played Atlanta in the semifinals and got 3-2'd and probably played Atlanta the toughest out of everybody this entire weekend.
Yeah.
That's why I have Minnesota at number 4, Florida at number 5.
That's probably fair. Makes me rethink mine. I have Paris at number 5, like I said earlier, and Minnesota number 6. Not much to say, like, because I basically explained it last placement. Florida went up, Minnesota had to drop because I didn't want to move Paris too much, so not much explanation.
I got Minnesota number 4 as well. I think this is maybe the first
we agreed.
Yeah, I know. I was just about to say, maybe the first time in history we've actually agreed on a power rank, other than LA Optic.
Well.
Because
we all got him at number 12.
Even my grandma agrees with the LA Optic.
Yeah, I mean, I talked to the lady downstairs, and she was like, "Dude, LA."
She's like, "How about them optics?"
Yeah. So, I have them at number 4. They've over the last 2 events specifically, never mind the launch weekend, because I had them quite low still. After that event, they moved up 3 spots from 7 to 4 after this one. They've consistency once again. They've been consistent, and I respect that about them. Yeah, they haven't really had a shot at winning a championship. Is it a championship? Well,
a title. They've had a shot at a title.
We have a whole other podcast whether it's a championship.
Exactly, yeah.
It's a title. We'll just call it a title.
Yeah, it's a title.
Yeah. So
when you have to make your own trophies, it's not a championship.
Exactly.
I'll just say that.
So they haven't really had a chance at a title yet, but they've proven that they're actually a threat. And like James said, we talk about Toronto, they're not a threat.
They're consistently playing top teams well.
Yeah,
and that's why I have them
well.
up high.
Very well. and they're one of the few teams that actually like not even no rumors about a change or anything. You know why? Because they're consistent, and they've impressed me enough to put them ahead of London even as a top 4 team right now. And I think um, this event they have the ability to actually make the finals, getting out of groups and making the finals if they play like they've been playing over the last 2 events.
Yeah, I could see that.
Number 4.
Okay.
I'm assuming they've got Florida there. I got right.
Number 4 is Florida. They moved up from 8 to 4.
I have Florida at number 4. They moved up. It was a little maybe premature on my end. I moved them up from 11 to 4.
Damn.
Like I said,
damn.
We didn't talk about Florida at all in the last podcast. Literally until the last 10 minutes.
7 spots.
I mentioned something about Florida and until Maniac comes into the roster, and we were like, oh yeah, we haven't even talked about that.
I think that might be the biggest move up besides me throwing Paris from 12th to 4th after week 1.
That was idiotic, and I think James I don't want to attack you, dude, because you're a good dude, but come on.
Bring it.
I mean, I got Florida at number 5.
I only cry on the inside.
I got Florida at number 5. They looked fantastic last weekend, but they looked fantastic against a bad Chicago team. I think that they probably would have beat Paris at that event too. They didn't play Paris. They looked
fantastic against a bad Chicago team, but a bad Chicago team usually looks better than a good Florida team.
You're right.
So I was still impressed by them winning.
I want to ask you guys. Did the Florida? So the Florida Chicago series. Did Florida win that series or did Chicago?
I feel like Chicago lost that series. Like 100% of that series was Chicago's to take. But I will also say that last S&D, Florida played significantly better than Chicago did on that last S&D.
Yeah.
So I feel like in a way Chicago lost it, but in a way Florida really took them by the balls and took the chance that they had and ran with it.
Yeah, they kept it close in the beginning. Optic won the first 2, the hard point 250 to 241, and then the first S&D 6-4. They kept up with them, but literally by the time it got to the last S&D, I mean they won Florida won 6-2. It was almost a blowout. They even took the hard point.
Literally
250 to 186.
But literally the last S&D was literally Pristini's playground. He literally just flanked every single round and just ran at them and was shooting them in the back and killing them. And it's they didn't make any changes. So in a way, like I said, Chicago lost it, but in a way Florida really won that series. They played really well.
I gotta agree with you guys actually. I have Florida at 6, moving up from number 9, because we all have Florida.
That's a cute jump.
Yeah, cute little three spots. I still have them behind London and Minnesota. I think Minnesota currently is still a better team. I also think London is still a better team than Florida. Florida had one good event, so I'm not entirely sold on them being a top 4 or even top 5 team for that matter. They impressed the hell out of me, and I think they impressed the hell out of everyone. I just don't think right now or heading into, the next 1 or 2 events that they're better than London or Minnesota. So I have them at number 6.
Yeah, I'll admit I'm being a little hopeful. I think if they continue to, well, but I mean, we'll get into it, but their first series is against FaZe. So a rematch of the finals.
I think they're going to get 3-0'd again.
I'm not going to say my predictions yet, but I know I'm being a little hopeful, but I think if Florida continues to play the way that they have been and they don't digress, they're going to stay up there. At least on my rankings.
All right.
Well, I have a cute idea. Can we we're kind of we're over an hour and 10 minutes already. I have a cute idea for these last 3 power rankings. At the same time, let's say our 3 power rankings, because they're all the same. I guarantee you.
From 3 to 1.
3 to 1. I guarantee you they're the same as Dexeritos as well.
Okay.
All right.
Okay, wait. I'll go 3, and then everybody says it, and then I'll go 2, and then everybody says it, and then I'll go 1, and then everybody says it.
All right.
Got it?
Gotcha.
Okay. 3.
So wait.
Dallas Empire.
Oh, okay.
Who's
Dallas.
You ruined it.
My bad. Dallas.
Dallas Empire.
2.
Chicago.
Chicago. 1.
Atlanta FaZe.
FaZe.
I don't think that there's even
Toronto
an
Ultra.
argument here.
There-
Wait.
Yeah.
There's no arguments here. These are the clear-cut top 3 teams in the league right now. Is that how
The only ones that
Dexterra
are gonna
had them as well?
Most likely. And the only ones who are going to change,
Yeah, they did.
in my opinion, are going to be Atlanta and Chicago.
And
Like,
I mean,
Yeah,
you know what?
and
If
that's
Dallas
what
comes
happened
out and
with
wins,
Dexter
if
Atlanta.
Dallas comes out and wins this event, though, that's going to change your predictions for sure. And they very well could. They have a good team.
yeah.
So you know what? We'll see. I don't think there's much to really talk about on that. And
No. They're just the best right now, and the top 3, the separation from the top 3, is not even close. I think
Yeah.
so.
All right.
Okay, moving on. We're not going to get too in depth with this because again, we've gone on a long time, and all thanks to Doug Sensor Martin's dad. Thanks, pal. We're just gonna kind of skim over all the games, guess our top 4, and then guess the champion, and we'll kind of go from there. Jesse, give me a quick rundown. Atlanta, Florida, first match of.
you want to go
Yeah,
by
that's
match, or we could go by? I can just tell you who I think is going to win. Like,
Well,
I can tell you who I think is going to come out of the pools, and then how I think the bracket's going to break down. I feel like that would be a better prediction than just go by match by match.
Well, I think some of them are interesting matchups.
yeah,
so-
we don't have to overanalyze. Just say
Yeah.
3-1, and
Okay,
this is why.
Atlanta 3-0, no question.
Atlanta's going to win. I'm going to say it's going to be like 3-1. But yeah, it'll be easily Atlanta.
I'm going to say Atlanta 3-0 as well. Minnesota Rockers, Seattle, James.
Minnesota. Not going to say map count because I think there could be a little bit of an upset there, but Minnesota.
Jesse?
I think Minnesota 3-1.
I'm going to say Minnesota 3-1, Seattle takes D.
That's a bold
Dallas,
prediction.
Pander, baby. It's the Pander effect.
Pander, baby.
The Pander
That's what it
Express.
is. The Pander Express.
Favorite restaurant. Anyways.
Pander
Dallas
Express
versus
on Gunrunner. Dallas versus New York. Jesse.
Dallas. Oh,
Oh,
James.
James.
Dallas.
Everybody.
Dallas 3-1.
Oh,
Wait, sorry, I didn't even hear you because everyone
Dallas
shut up.
3-1.
Okay, I'm gonna go Dallas 3-1 as well.
Dallas 3-0. New York sucks. All right, moving on.
The
Well,
Battle of
this
LA.
This is an interesting series. Gorillas, the home team against LA.
The home
Home
team.
They got home field advantage, so I don't know.
I'm going
tough.
first. Optic Gaming's winning their first series in the league.
I
Three to
agree
one.
with that. I agree with that. I think it'll be 3-1. Optics only going to win because this is basically a new team. So
Yeah, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna pick LA in this.
of course.
LA's gonna win.
Good choice.
It's gonna be
Good choice.
3-0. Yeah, no. Yeah, Optic's gonna win this 3-0. I think they're
Yeah.
gonna just obliterate this team. This team, a lot of problems. So I think.
And if they
Optic
don't-
LA's
Man,
Optic is going to number 13 on my list
Yeah.
because they are going to have to find a new franchise
Yeah.
to fill in for 12th place.
We're gonna put UIU at number 12.
Yeah, we're gonna UIU's coming in hot. in 12.
we're gonna pull up Atlanta Phases. Their
Atlanta FaZe Academy.
Yeah.
and they'll probably beat half the pro teams to be honest, because
And they'll come in at number 9.
Ahead of New York.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay, Jesse, top 4.
So I'm not going to give you a top 4 because I want to kind of break down the pools and how I think it's going to go down because I feel like you're going to disagree quite heavily with this pool. Pool A,
You can't miss a chance to have you disagree with them.
Pool A
Exactly.
is very open to anybody except I feel Minnesota's going to be first coming out of that pool. I feel like everybody else it's pretty open to. Now, I think Optic's going to beat LA in that first match, setting up for Optic to only have to lose another match to like basically get kicked out, right? So, I feel Optic's going to win, LA's going to win. They're going to play each other. Or sorry, Optic and Minnesota are going to play each other. I feel like Minnesota will win that matchup. And then I feel Optic will end up playing Seattle, and I feel Optic will make the bracket over Seattle. That's personal opinion. Just because I don't think Seattle is that up there still. And with the team change, I don't think they're going to be that much better.
James.
Zaren's rubbing his eyebrow. I
Now,
want to hear what Zaren has to
whoa,
say.
wait, I'm not fully done yet.
Oh, you?
I'm
no,
gonna move on to Group B.
Well, you better fucking hurry it up.
I think Group B is a pretty clear cut who's gonna come out 1-2. In all honesty, I think
Yeah.
Atlanta, FaZe, and
New
Dallas.
What?
Atlanta, FaZe, and Dallas, and I think when they're gonna switch, I feel Minnesota will end up playing Dallas in the semifinals to go into the grand finals. I feel like Minnesota's probably gonna win that over Dallas. I don't know, like it's gonna be close. Dallas could take it, Minnesota could take it. It's gonna see. Actually, I take that back. I think Dallas is going to win that. I don't know what I was just saying.
You saw her facing.
I was like, wait a second. What did I just say? Dallas is going to go to the finals. I feel it's going to be Dallas FaZe finals, and that FaZe is going to take it over Dallas. That's my personal opinion.
I'm hesitant to say Dallas FaZe finals because I also said FaZe Chicago finals.
Barring any major upsets, Atlanta FaZe Dallas Empire final.
Fair enough.
I don't know why I called that in the first place. I wish I could go back. Zarin, go ahead.
Go sit in the corner.
Yeah,
Go sit in the corner.
turn around. Okay. What the? No. Okay. No. Seattle is without a doubt the second best team in this group.
Double or nothing.
They're not as. You want to? Okay. Our bet last time was Paris and Toronto matched up in group play.
No. So I'm just saying, Optic or Seattle making it out, because I think we can all agree on Minnesota making it out.
Yeah.
So we'll go double or nothing. So you owe me 5 right now. We'll go double or nothing on Optic Seattle.
Yeah, I was just explaining the bet for people who didn't watch last week. So Paris and Toronto met up, and I said Toronto was going to win. I said if Toronto won, Jesse would pay me $10, and if Paris won, I would pay him $5, and I would move Seattle down in my rankings. And he ended up winning.
Paris
so
scraped out the dub.
Right now.
So what do you think?
I will go double or nothing that Seattle makes it up, and Optic LA does not.
All right. Bet.
Okay. So
James is just
And that's not even because I have opinion. I don't have an opinion other than I think Zaren's wrong. But
that's an opinion. Welcome to the fucking.
Damn.
I mean, not a strong enough opinion to even join in on a bet.
Okay.
I think it'll be close.
So I'm gonna go. Minnesota beats Seattle first game. LA. Optic beats the Gorillas first game. Seattle and the Gorillas meet up. Seattle wins that. Minnesota beats LA. Seattle beats Minnesota to go to the grand final. Okay. Atlanta's gonna beat Florida. Dallas is gonna beat New York. Atlanta's gonna beat Dallas.
Wait. Did you say Minnesota beats Seattle to go to the grand final? They won't play each other in the semifinals.
Oh yeah, you're right. Sorry, they cross over. Okay.
Yeah.
So Seattle's gonna beat Minnesota the second time to go to the semifinals. So it's gonna be Seattle in the guaranteed top 4.
So if Seattle goes to top 4, they'll switch. So who do you think's coming out of Group B before you go into that? Because then I can tell you who's going to play.
Okay, Group A is going to be Minnesota, Seattle.
Okay, and who comes out 1, 2?
Group B is going to be Atlanta, Dallas. Minnesota's going to be 1, Seattle's going to be 2.
And Atlanta 1, Dallas 2?
Yeah.
Okay, so Dallas would play Seattle then, and Atlanta would play Minnesota. Or no. Atlanta and Minnesota, no. Sorry. Atlanta will play Seattle. Dallas will play Minnesota. Sorry. So exactly how I said, except not Optic.
Yeah, because you're wrong. So
time will tell.
It's gonna be Atlanta Dallas final, and I hate to say it, but Atlanta's gonna win. It's gonna be
so basically the same prediction minus Optic.
Yeah,
which is our bet.
And in that regards, I'm the same as Jesse. I don't think Seattle comes out on top of Optic. So, but I think the finals will still be Dallas FaZe. FaZe beats Dallas.
All right. And
so we'll move into our final segment of the podcast. I'd like to thank everybody for listening. If you've listened this far to our absolute nonsense, well, those two
controlled chaos.
Yeah, they're controlled chaos. I've spit a lot of facts, a lot of truths right here. But without further ado, we'll go into our last segment. Don't give me that look, boy.
Y'all just saw that eye roll. I know you did.
Yeah. The classic way we end the podcast, we pick one guarantee of the weekend, one upset of the weekend, and one disappointment of the weekend. So I want to start with Jesse.
No,
Give me your
no. I want to start with you this week.
With me?
Yeah, I always start it. You start it.
Well, I'd like to throw it to you, but all right.
See what I did there, James? Power move.
Throw something to me.
Guarantee of the weekend. Major Maniac wins MVP of the tournament.
Okay.
Okay, that's my guarantee, James.
I'm actually gonna throw it to Jesse. I have to think about it.
Optic Gaming beats Seattle in groups. That's my guarantee.
Not gonna happen. All right, James.
You asked for a guarantee. That's my guarantee.
That was a quick 3 seconds, so you've had time to think now.
That's why I gave it to Zarin first.
Well, last week my guarantee was like too obvious. So
he's like, my guarantee, Atlanta Face is gonna win the event, guys.
wow,
Zowie, wowie. Like,
no. Yeah, I have to go with Jesse. I think my guarantee is Optic's gonna make it out over Seattle.
You know how stupid he's gonna look next week when we do this podcast and Optic makes it out over Seattle?
Yeah, because I looked so stupid this week when Paris definitely made it out of groups and made it to the semifinals.
But they didn't.
Ooh.
But they didn't beat Toronto, so I was still right.
Yeah, whatever.
Hey, Paris totally cleaned the floor last weekend. All right.
Yes.
Yeah,
my bad.
Yeah, they were.
I'm super biased towards it, so I know.
Moving
Okay.
on.
All right. Upsets.
Upset of the week. James, give me your biggest upset of the week.
It's not a huge upset, but I think the biggest one of the weekend is going to be that the Gorillas are going to beat Optic.
In the first match.
Yeah.
Oh,
Like
sure.
everything points to Optic. This should finally be their match to win.
I actually really like that call.
But I think that there's going to be enough players on the Gorillas who are kind of like almost have nothing to lose. They're like they don't already have the weight of the past roster not being successful, that they're kind of like, all right, let's show why we deserve to be up here. But Optic on the other end is kind of like, guys, we freaking got to win a match. Like, and they're gonna make some mistakes. So I think the biggest upset would be if Los Angeles beat Optic.
I'll go. I think that this is kind of a crazy upset, but I think Florida will finish last in Group B as my crazy upset.
Wow.
After finishing second place at the last event.
Well, my biggest upset, I still think Atlanta's going to make it out of Group B as the first seed, but Florida's going to win the first match against Atlanta FaZe. I think they're going to upset them.
I think Florida will have the past 2 weeks just have to have sat down and
watched Atlanta FaZe
watch those finals
for that to happen. But you know,
for 2 weeks straight, but it could happen.
I think it's gonna.
I think
That's
any
I think
team could be-
Pristini would have done it, but
yeah.
okay.
And what's our last one? The
The last one is our biggest disappointment of the entire weekend, Jesse.
oh god, I don't know. I gotta think about that one.
James.
My biggest disappointment is also the same as my upset. I am going to be so disappointed if Optic cannot win a match, or at least win their first match. Like I have the Gorillas upsetting Optic because I don't think it would happen, but if it does, I'm gonna be so upset for Optic. Like it'll still be their third event, and they'd be 5-0 or 0-5.
Actually, I'm gonna go with the same thing as James. I'm gonna say that would be my biggest disappointment if Optic doesn't win a series again.
This is a softball.
If Optic doesn't win a series, I need them to get fucking. They need a roster change at that point.
This is a softball to Optic, and Optic's using a tennis racket. Like if they don't win this match, there is no hope.
I've had this in my head for 5 minutes. I'm both of you. Optic is going to disappoint severely this week.
Oh, I'm not saying they're going to. I'm saying that
I'm
saying that's going to be the biggest disappointment if they don't win. I'm not saying they're going to.
I'm not saying they're going to, because I definitely have the Gorillas as the upset. But man,
That would be the biggest disappointment for sure.
Yeah.
I'm totally on board with you guys. I think that's about it for us. Any final thoughts before I kind of close things out?
I think
Any-
that everybody
anything
should
else?
damn follow the podcast on Twitter. You should subscribe on YouTube. I think that people
Drop a
should be
like,
a little bit
drop a
nicer in the
dis-
comments because you guys are starting to
Drop a
hurt Zaren's
dislike
feelings.
if you don't like it, because it all helps our analytics. So
Mm.
if you think we're crazy, tell us in the comments.
Actually, I got one thing to say. I think that we have been getting called out for having misinformation. I don't know what misinformation these damn comments are talking about. I know Zaren was talking about it earlier. What? It's a prediction show. How much misinformation do you want? We correct ourselves. We make mistakes. We're human. Get over it.
And we're literally fact checking as we're doing the podcast, and that's why we're correcting ourselves.
I'm
Exactly.
done. Go ahead, Zaren.
Take us out.
All right, I think that's about it. If anybody has made it this far,
I'm sorry.
we appreciate you guys. No, in all seriousness, like we've gotten a lot of support. The way how we've progressed over the last 4 episodes or 3 episodes has been amazing. We appreciate all the support. We love the comments. Keep giving us your feedback, positive, negative, doesn't matter. We appreciate you all. You're helping us. You're helping this COD community grow, and we appreciate it. Don't forget to follow the podcast on Twitter. Subscribe as well. Drop a like on the video. Like James said, drop a dislike on the video. If you didn't like it, it's fine. It's okay. Helps us.
Don't drop a dislike.
We're trying to get better here. Okay, so
And one
We're
thing
only
I'd like
four-
to add,
yeah.
as this grows, we're in talks about having kind of like a second episode that's more so just the storylines that are going on throughout the season. So if there's players or people in the community, the competitive community that you want to see on the podcast, who maybe you think have something to add or would bring something to the table about what we're talking about, comment them below, tag us on Twitter,
Tag them on
anything
Twitter.
like that. Yeah, well, that's what I mean. Tag them on Twitter, tag us in their post, whatever, and that way we can get a different view after a while instead of just our 3 point of views.
Exactly. We want your feedback. We want to know how to get better. We're having a shit ton of fun doing this.
It's my
I think,
favorite
so far.
Literally what I look
It's-
forward to every single
yeah.
week.
It's my
Every
favorite
single week.
podcast that I do.
Yeah, all one of them. So we're having a lot of fun doing this, and we appreciate everyone's feedback. So like James said, if you know anybody that you think would be good for the show, drop them down in the comments. Our links for Twitters, YouTube are going to be all in the description, so be sure to click on that. Check us out.
Follow Team
we also have
Solidity.
opinions on Twitters. Yes, follow at Team underscore
At Team Solidity.
At
at
Team
Team Solidity. Yeah, on Twitter. I know we
And
don't need to
at
follow
TS
him.
underscore chance.
No one follow him. He sucks. But again, thank you all
I
for
love you,
watching.
Chance.
Thank you.
Subscribe, comment, like, do it all. We appreciate you. We'll be back hopefully next week. We love you guys. Thank you so much, and everybody have a good weekend. Enjoy the tournament.